Hello, 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 hello. I'm Lynn Browder, and I have a son, Owen, who is 13. I almost said 12. I usually backtrack on myself when it changes dates or, like, birth, age, that type of thing. My brain reverts back. He's been 13 for a week now, almost tomorrow, and obviously it's not sunk in. Anyways, Owen is 13 and he has autism, and he helps me paint the backgrounds of our paintings with a hand over hand method, and then I paint the rest. So he wants another birthday. Maybe that's why I'm stuck on his his age. I'm not sure, but he keeps talking about it. Or maybe he wants another party tomorrow. I'm not sure. He can't necessarily explain all of his emotions or thoughts, but he keeps telling me that it's his birthday again tomorrow. And I'm not sure if it's just because he's processing it or if there's other reasons. But anyways, that's where he's at. So I'm making a little this part technically doesn't matter because I'm going to have flowers and stuff over it. But I'm making a little vase kind of out of a pitcher, I suppose. I've been trying to work on a little more details when I'm painting. Owen helped me paint the background, and you can see I wear it well. We use a hand over hand method. He's been doing more of it on his own, but then we go back and I kind of whatever. Sometimes there's other colors on the brush, and if you look at I can't talk tonight. When I paint, if you look at how I paint, a lot of times I have multiple, I don't know if it will show on there, multiple colors on the brush, and I don't generally clean my brush off when I'm painting because I like the details of those colors, especially when I'm doing things like flowers or something like that. I'll leave what I have on there. I think it just gives it more texture for me, and just the way it kind of shines out. But who knows? That's what I go with, at least. So we'll see as we go along here what's happening and what else we do. But this is what's going on so far. So today, woohoo, was my last day of chemotherapy. Let's try that again. Today was my last day of radiation. I had chemotherapy. I had my breast surgery. I had a lumpectomy and then lymph nodes removed. And it's funny when all of it's serious. All of it is, something. And but when they told me that it had spread to my lymph nodes, it was harder to take. I don't know even how to explain it. It was more daunting, maybe that's the right word, when they said that than the breast cancer, because I was thinking it spread or something that I couldn't, I don't know. It was a lot to take in. Um, and when they told me I had breast cancer, I didn't want to know. I didn't want to know any of the numbers. I didn't want to know any of the specifics besides you have to do this, 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 and this, and you're going to have surgery. I didn't want to focus on any of the numbers because I only wanted to focus on one thing, and that was the cure. And so I couldn't focus on anything else but the cure. So that's just how I had to handle it with all the things that were going on with Owen and life and just just everything. So it wasn't like I wasn't afraid of the surgery or anything. I just was like, oh, that the what am I, by not knowing the numbers, what am I not paying attention to, or what should I have done, or anything. But there was nothing I could do. All I can do is pray and know that God's got me, and my surgeon was amazing, and she told me that she was going to cure me, and that in itself really kind of reassured me that it was going to be fine, and there was not a lot of worry in my grand scheme of things, because I honestly didn't have time to worry. I just had to get through everything and keep moving forward. And I had an amazing team of doctors and the support staff, like with the chemo therapy that I had, and then the radiation. As much as I didn't like the radiation, it was just a very emotional part for me. There was a lot going on with a lot of things, but the people, the staff were amazing. I mean, I could not have asked for more supportive people, and the doctors and everything. So that was the great news about that whole thing. And I finished that part today, the radiation part. So how wonderful and amazing was that? And I had to have 28 radiation treatments. And now I will start on April 1st. I will go back for 8 more infusions, and it's not the chemo infusions, it's just the regular infusions. They told me that they had gotten it all with the cancer, but this is just to make sure that it's gone, and that the better chance for it not to return. So that's my story, and I'm sticking to it. But it's a good blessing. It's a good thing to, get through this part. And I'm just feeling pretty blessed right now. Ooh, I gotta sneeze. And Owen has been handling it the best he can. I mean, it's a lot for him to take on. With he looks at me, and right now I don't have. I'm growing hair, but it's still very short, and you can see a little picture of me when I post the video. But one day I'll figure out how to put everything in the right direction to be able to record, and I'll get another camera or something. I don't know. Anyways, I know that um, he just has a hard time looking at me without hair, because hair is such a big thing for him. And the way he looks, it's very hard for him to process change. And so when I found out I was going to have chemo and knew I was going to lose my hair, I started preparing him for it, because it was completely daunting, to say the least, that here his mommy is with lots of hair, and then here his mommy is with no hair. And that is a very hard process for him. And so it definitely was something that we had to kind of work through and get him to kind of understand what was happening. So thankfully that was something that he could handle, within reason. But it's been a great it's been a great big deal, is what I'm trying to say, for him to process my hair. He knows. I tried to tell him as much as I could about having cancer, and getting him to understand. Like, I told him that I had a medicine box. They put the port in for my chemo infusions and things like that, that made a little bit more sense for him, made it a little more kid friendly, Owen friendly, so that he could kind of see what was happening. And I also needed him to be gentle with me, and not have a hard time, like if he hugged me, or rarely, but occasionally, he does hit me. And so I needed him to understand that he couldn't do that. And he did beautifully. I mean, he's done amazing with the process of it, except for mostly my hair. So I'm thankful for that, and thankful for finding ways to get him to kind of understand it, and be a little more aware of what was happening. So, and luckily we had amazing supports team, and our church has been amazing, and just so much support from family, friends around the world. I'm very, very blessed. Very, very blessed. So, let's see. Oops. I say oops because I was doing I was doing I can't even think the other brush with the colors I wanted, but it was no biggie, because you just have paint and do more paint. I'm trying to add a little bit of kind of shading. As it dries, sometimes it will fade out, and so I'm just kind of adding a little shading. So we'll see how it goes. But we're getting close. Oh. So the infusions that I have next, the chemo was technically, to me, the chemo days were technically the easiest part of the treatments. And I was able to get through them pretty comfortably. That first couple I was really sick with, and then it was interesting because like the second to last one was really, really hard for me, but got through it. And they say this one won't be as difficult because it's not the chemo part. It's not going to have, like, I'm not going to be losing my hair again or the sickness as much, or shouldn't have as much sickness from this one. So I'm looking forward to that. Definitely looking forward to that part. So, but Owen had a pretty good day today. He was a little confused. Confused is anxious about me dropping him off at school. He usually rides the bus, but I had to take him to school because I had an early appointment this morning. And so he handled it, but it was still kind of, it's still a little like offsetting for him to do something completely out of his realm when it's like that. But thankfully he did okay. And he had a pretty good day, calm-wise. I should have done this before I put the little things there, but I can fix it in a second. I get very quiet when I'm trying to outline something because I don't have a steady hand. It's part of the reason I didn't paint for a long time was because if you haven't noticed, I shake just a tiny bit. Between all my conditions, I have thyroid issues. I have Hashimoto's, and it just makes me shake just ever so little. So now we are almost done. Just gonna add a few little, like I said, I'm trying to work on doing details a little bit more instead of just letting it sit. Like when I look back at it, I want to make sure that I've kind of put everything in perspective. I don't mind the peachy color, but it was not settling in. Like this one's a little more creamy, and that one was so bright. So he Owen thinks he's having another birthday tomorrow, and I hope he's not. Oh, that one. Ooh, sinus stuff is fun. I hope he's not disappointed tomorrow when he doesn't have another birthday party. He had I worked it out with his teacher to have snacks or cupcakes or pizza or whatever she decided, and she had it all. So he really enjoyed it, and it's the first time he's really like enjoyed something for himself like that. He's starting to understand presents a little bit more and liking that type of thing. So I feel like it's great progress. I'm probably gonna, I want to add a little, just a little. I need a brighter light that goes across instead of beside me, because I always get oh, get dark, the sections there. Okay, we're done, or I'm gonna be done. I sign O for Owen since he helps me with the backgrounds, and then L and B. There we go. Thanks so much for watching. Have a great rest of your day. Toodles, toodles.